It's Dave Joe once again for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by this time Hakim Tito Lopez. How are you, mate?
How you doing? I'm doing fine. Beautiful this morning.
Good, good. You've just finished a run. What's the weather like where you are at the moment? I'm over in the UK. What's Atlanta like?
It's a little chilly outside. It's nothing that I can't run in, but it is chilly. I got a hoodie up, I ain't got to do the gloves yet, but it's a little chilly. It's good enough to run.
Good stuff. So you've recently come off a fantastic victory as well. You're now 12-0 in the pro game. That fight you had at light heavyweight, naturally you're a super middleweight. Talk to me about your last fight, another KO to the record. It's 8 KOs now, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, this fight right here, I fight at 168. We took it at light heavyweight to make the fight happen. The opponent that we got, he's been around. It was told to me that he was going to bring it. He was going to come and try to really put on here in my town, but that wasn't the case. He didn't understand that I really do this. I really do the fight game. So it ended quickly in a couple seconds in the second round. So
absolutely brilliant. So what made you take this fight at light heavyweight? Because you naturally fight at super middle anyway. Was it a good prospect for you, a good shot? Did you just want to test the levels, or?
Actually, in the amateurs, I used to fight at heavyweight, and then I went down to light heavyweight. So, when they speak about the pro game, it's more or less it's more mental than anything. So me fighting at light heavyweight right now in this stage of my career, it's really not me taking any big risks, because I've been there, done that, so it ain't me taking any big risks. So we took the fight just to make it happen. How people make catch weights. That's basically exactly what it was. It was really a catch weight, but more or less, it ain't nothing that I'm not used to. So,
I mean, your brother boxes as well. Nez was talking about both you guys on the show yesterday. Talk to me about how you got into the game.
I got into the game actually. That's my little brother you guys talking about. I actually got in the game through my dad, and our older brother used to box before we wanted to box, and he the one that popped it off for us all. And then here in Atlanta, when I was 13 years old, I joined the boxing gym. I told my dad that I wanted to join the boxing gym so bad, but he didn't believe me, because he thought that, like, me being bad in school and fighting all the time, that I wasn't going to take it serious. But we made a bet. He made me a bet, and I actually won. So I started, and from there, me and my dad, we made a bet, and I won the bet, actually. So from there on, I just took boxing very, very seriously, and going through the rankings, becoming like ranked number one in my state, my region, then number two in the country, and then getting nationals and doing my thing. But as I'm doing that, my little brother seeing that too, and he started boxing, and then he started just taking off on his career. So I'm pretty much I started young. I started young. I love the sport. I'm very dedicated to it. So this is all I know how to do. This is all I want to know how to do right now at the moment, until that time come. But I love it.
Absolutely brilliant. And the division you fight in, the coveted super middleweight division, absolutely littered with amazing names out there as well. It's one of those divisions that's just popping. The welterweight division is the same. You could argue the same with heavyweight, but there's only like a few names in the heavyweight division that are running things. Is your sights definitely set at super middle? And who do you? Is it just Canelo that is the person that's dominating the whole super middleweight division? Because he's light heavyweight. There's talks of him going to cruiser now as well, isn't there?
It's crazy because when I was younger, me and my dad, we used to go over like how you see yourself in the future, or like what you want to do, like what's your plans. And we used to always talk about doing what Canelo is doing now. So that's why I love seeing it get done, because it just reassures me that it can be done, So me being at super middleweight right now, I do see myself staying here. I do see myself fighting the best soon. And I see myself doing what Canelo's doing also, because I know for sure as you get older, making weight and stuff like that. See, I'm young, so I do it very easily, but I know making weight and, that type of stuff fighters don't really talk about. I know that it happens. So probably I would move up one day in my career, and then just try to probably one day, dominate two divisions at the same time. But moving up, I can't see myself moving up, because I do want to become a world champion in multiple divisions.
And the other thing I was gonna ask you was, in regards to promoters and so on and so forth, have you been approached by big names? Because
actually right now I'm signed to Cameron Duncan.
Oh, cool. We haven't heard much from him over here in the UK. Is he linked with TV deals and so on and so forth?
He's linked with Showtime. He has fighters such as Boots Ennis.
Jared, yeah.
Brandon Lee, Brian Norman, and add my name to the stable.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. Have you sparred with any of the guys over there? And
no, actually, the ones in my stable, no, I haven't. They're lighter than me.
Yeah, because Jared Ennis is making a massive noise at the moment, isn't he? In terms of who he's fighting and moving up that ladder very, very quickly as well. It's great to know that you're linked potentially with Showtime as well. That's excellent.
Yeah,
that only benefits your career, right? I mean,
yeah, 1,000%.
That's absolutely fantastic. And when it comes to the 8 knockouts that you have had in your career so far, do you add a bit of pressure on yourself, because 8 out of 12 is a fantastic sort of record, isn't it, in terms of knockout ratio? Is that always on your mind as well, to put on a great show?
Yeah, and I'm happy that you actually mentioned that, because I was talking to somebody about that too. This is the thing this is how I see that, right? I tell people, don't label me, the fans, the people that support you the most, they're gonna always hold you to a standard and label you a certain way. But I tell people when I'm talking to them, don't label me as a knockout artist, because when you do that, you get the pressure to where you have to go in there and knock out everybody, or the fans get the impression where you have to go in there and knock out everybody. And what happened when it doesn't work? Then the fans start to question you, So I don't label myself as no knockout artist. I don't look at myself far as like, oh, I got these many knockouts, I need to keep that up. No. I know one thing for sure, I am a boxer puncher. So I can punch when I want to. And I could fight whenever I want to. I could box whenever I want to. So I know I have those tricks inside my book, but I don't never put the knockout pressure on myself where like I got to go in there and get the knockout. I just know that like with my IQ, it's going to come. I don't got to find it. I mean, I don't got to rush to try to get it. It's going to come. So no, I don't put that knockout pressure on myself, because that's what mess up a lot of young fighters.
It's true, isn't it? And also keeping hold of a no as well. there's two things that when we speak to people, there's that, I wouldn't say psychological, but there's always that thing in the people in the back of people's heads, isn't it? Which is retaining a zero, and if you're a knockout artist, as some people mention, they have to carry on that journey, don't they, up here?
Right. And see, hopefully in our era, the way that it's changed right now, we're getting a whole lot of exciting fights. The best want to fight the best. And I'm loving that I can grow up in that era right there. But with that mindset, here's how I think about it, right? With the old mindset that we got to carry on as fighters, I believe it's a good and a curse, because when you think about it, you want to keep the O, because who really wants to lose? No one. That's why we train hard as hell. That's why we sacrifice. That's why we go days without the luxury of things, because we don't want to lose. And that is the ideal of not getting rid of a O. But when you go in there with a mindset like for an example, Canelo right now, he doesn't have an O and he fights like it. You know, I feel as though like when you don't care about that, you fight harder. Like when you let go of the pressure off your back of certain things, and you just say like a fighter like me that just says like, I don't care, right? I don't care. Like yo, you gonna put on a good show tonight, man. Are you gonna knock this guy? I don't care. I know what I'm gonna do when I get in there. I don't care about any of the speculations or no. I don't care about that. Hey, are you thinking about your O going? No, I'm not worrying about that. That's nowhere near my brain. My brain is to fight, become world champion, and build a legacy. I never think about a lot of fighters, they even like going back to looking at their box rec, looking at their numbers. I don't care for that type of stuff.
You just focused on you.
Focus on me doing this. This is all I care about is the progression. When I don't worry about numbers. I don't worry about the numbers. I don't worry about the hype. I don't see my dad always told me, let the people give you the hype. Don't never soak it in yourself, because that can really harm you more than help you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't focus on the hype, and all of that stuff is hype. The O game, the something in O, that's hype. Being a knockout artist, that's hype, you know, and I focus on myself and getting myself better.
And who did you watch growing up in terms of who are the people that you had admired, should we just say, when you were starting out and looking at the trade and learning your game and so on and so forth? Who did you admire?
I admire people like Tito Trinidad. I admire Canelo, Floyd for sure. You know, everybody admires Floyd. It's a list of fighters. Roy Jones, Mike Tyson. It's a list of fighters.
Each for different things, I take it as well, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Which is what you know, how you built, and then you kind of not mimic the style, but take a bit of each, and
that's how I am as a fighter myself. You know, I use my brain, I use my mind more than anything. I use my mind more than my speed or my power. Now I play chess more than anything in the ring. But far as like looking up to fighters, like this fighter could have like a punch that he do with a step this way that I love it so much, and I know that it worked, that I take that with this guy's head movement or this guy's angles and this guy power punching this, you know, and I take it all and I adapt it to my game plan.
How's COVID been for you? What's it been like over there in terms of training and stuff? Has there been many restrictions now? Because in the UK, we're going to get some more restrictions placed potentially. What's it been like over in Atlanta?
Well, you know, they're not really they're not really strict right now. I don't know how it's going to be a little later on. I can't lie, they was at once strict about COVID and masks and things like that. But you know, I'm blessed because my dad built us a gym.
Oh,
We have a
cool.
boxing gym, so I'm never out of work. You know, so I'm always training. I got the key to the place. You know, so nobody needs to be there but me. You know, so for me, COVID doesn't stop my my training and my learning and staying sharp. It doesn't stop that at all. It might stop fights, me having fights, but far as training and staying in shape and staying sharp, it doesn't stop it at all.
And when are you out in action next? Has anything been planned for next year?
Next year, just speaking with my manager and my promoter. Hopefully, if I can, in the works, get some. Where?
Sorry, we lost you there. Was it February, did you say?
No, I said hopefully we can get something in the works later January.
Oh, January. Okay, so very, very soon then, which is
Yes.
great. I mean, hopefully make it 13 wins as well, which would be excellent. I always ask this anyway, but you know, the UK's got a big following, especially with boxing at the moment as well. Is that one of your things to travel around the world fighting as well?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? The ideal is to be a world or just your state. So I want to be a world champion. I'm definitely on for UK because honestly, you guys got one of the best boxing following in the world, you know. So I would love to go over there, showcase my talent over there and anywhere else in the world.
What would you consider? Because we've had quite a few upsets this year. Cambassas Jr. was classed as an upset of beating Teofimo Lopez. AJ losing to Usyk was an upset as well. And we've had quite a few other fights as well. What would you consider the ultimate upset of 2021?
I definitely close it with the Kambosos fight. I will definitely close it with the Kambosos fight because you could tell that fight was solely upon who really wanted it the most, you know, and Kambosos coming in as the real underdog, you know, he wasn't even picked to win, you know what I'm saying? So that was a very big upset. And then also just think about what was on the line. We're not talking about one belt. We're not talking about two. We're not talking about just a regular guy that just destroying everything. No, we're talking about almost all the belts, picked to lose, and he come in there, he goes in the ring and just straight dominant. Yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah, it was massive. Everything on the line, right? On one night, one person takes all, and worse still, apparently there was no rematch clause as well. So it was a case of winner takes all, you know, on one night. And for yourself as well, winning titles is clearly something that you want to do when you get to that sort of level, which hopefully won't be soon. Sorry, won't be long anyway. And when you see people in the fight game with 12 and 13 wins and they're elevated into the top 10, does that give you some kind of hope as well in terms of things could be moving faster? I mean, you're with a promoter as well. That's with linked to Showtime, so anything can happen.
Right, and yes, you know, this is boxing, right? Anything can happen in boxing. I could fight January and then boom, I could have a very huge fight coming after that, you know. So I do see see that the possibility of things moving faster or me actually getting a shot at something big, because that's solely what I want to do anyway. I want to be a part of the fighters who make the big fights, and solely a part of the fighters who make the exciting fights and the ones that I want to see. So that is something that I can see myself doing pretty soon also.
And Hakim, do you ever get in a position where you get presented an opportunity, you think, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. It's going to be it's a big name, or it's a big, it's a big risk with a big reward. But then the team around you say, look, not yet. Have you been in that situation where they?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't.
Yeah, because we hear that a lot as well, where, the fighter wants to take the big opportunity, but the team say, now's not the time as well.
Yeah, and growing up in boxing with my dad, you will learn that. I learned that, so I learned that some fighters do need to be saved from themselves, because we are fighters at the end of the day, and sometimes the situation just never really falls too good in your favor. So I did learn that. I learned that young, but right now I haven't been presented with that type of situation.
Yeah, and you'll know when it arises, I suppose, won't you? Because your team will say, yeah. And just before we wrap things up, are you going to be watching the Dazn card this weekend between
I will.
Parker and Chisora?
Yes, I will.
And how do you see that one going down? Do you think Parker does it again, or do you think Chisora beats Parker in the battle of the heavyweights?
Really ain't got no say so on it.
Just watching as a fan. As a fan, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got no say so on it.
There is a good super middleweight fighting on the card as well for the IBO title, Lerone Richards. Okay. So that'll be an interesting one. Hopefully you'll watch that for a version of the world title.
I have to.
Yeah, he's got to
keep my eyes open on the whole division.
Absolutely. Just before we wrap things up, where can people follow you, and where can people get more of your journey?
Definitely. You can follow my journey on Instagram and Twitter at Tito Lopez. That's HTITO LOPEZ. And I'm pretty much on there. I stay active with my followers. I talk, we discuss things. I'm always posting, so I'm active.
Absolutely brilliant. Hakim, thank you once again from the Boxing Voice. And hopefully we can do this again. Have a great end to 2021 and a prosperous start to 2022. And best of luck from all of us, mate.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Enjoy the video. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive, from Border Wars and Title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.